Hey guys, you're watching WFT Amplified Encore. I'm Lorenzo, and tonight we're here with No Boy. How you doing?
Good, Lorenzo. It's great to be here.
So we talked about it a little bit during the show, but how does it feel to be so close to the swamp?
Oh, dude. Is this online only, or is this on? Dude, fuck the swamp. I don't care. I realize that y'all might just like kick me out of town. I mean, but I can't tell you how much childhood trauma I suffered because of one of my friends named Philip Oliphant at Harding Academy grade school. Posh little grade school in Nashville. I guess his dad or mom went to Florida, and this was like during the Peyton Manning years at UT. So it was like obviously one of the great quarterbacks of all time, a lot to root for, and we could never beat you. And every time after the Florida-Tennessee game, he'd come in and do that obnoxious gator chomp right in my face, right in everybody's face. Did you see the game? Chomp, chomp, chomp. And it scarred me. And I had no idea that this studio was like 100 yards.
Yeah, we're spitting distance to the studio.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it being spit on as a UT Vols fan having to record here. So this is, yeah, there's
I'm glad SEC football still matters for you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So I'm like, all my introductions are scholar, artist, Julian or whatever. And I'm just like, people are so disappointed. Like artsy, scholarly people are so disappointed when they meet me because I'm first and foremost like a football fan. And I can't tell you how much trouble that caused for me, like getting a PhD at Brown University.
Nice.
Hey, you want to watch the game? Those guys get paid too much. We need to, the college kids? Well, now they do.
Now they make a lot of money. So your mom's Vietnamese, and I saw your
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, she is.
Your father's side of the family is Italian.
Italian and Scandinavian, yeah.
Is there a better food culture on either side?
Like which one's better?
Yeah,
like,
which one's better?
I mean, as you get to be a wizened, mature person, your metabolism gets fucked. And I've been feeling that. And so I've been like this year on a real calorie counting mission. So with that in mind, I will say Vietnamese. Because I just am not eating pasta, which breaks my heart. Like, yeah. Because I'm a fettuccine Alfredo twice a week kind of fella.
Okay.
You know, Thursdays are pizza nights, and at least with the Vietnamese, you can get kind of healthy with that stuff.
Yeah,
and it's still super tasty.
And I'll also have to ask you, we heard the debut of one of your songs.
Yeah.
And you said it's an actual tree in Portland?
Yeah, so No Boy is coming to an end. Like, it's funny because I meet people who have just like heard it this year, like because a new album came out, or because there's like one popular indie rock radio station that plays us a lot, or Spotify, it's on people's mixes. And so people come to shows will be like, oh, I just discovered you. I'm like, that's awesome. And I'm like, at the show, well, this is our last tour. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I've been doing this for 10 years. You try singing like depressing songs about Asian immigrants for 10 years. It's like not fun. And so the project I'm working on now, I've been musician in residence at an arboretum, like a tree museum in Portland, and just like making music, like beautiful kind of ambient music that you can, it's like trail specific, right? So you walk one trail, there's like a soundtrack to that trail. You can like download on your phone. It's sick. It's so awesome.
That's so sick.
It's like the opposite of depressing immigrant songs. Like, sorry, Mom. But like, that is one of the songs I've been writing because there's this amazing tree called the Dawn Redwood, which isn't actually a redwood. Forget its Latin name. It's like Metasequoia something, any botanist out there. But the story is amazing. You want me to tell you the story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm so here.
And so in the 1940s, and just before that, but mid-century, mid-20th century, some Chinese scientists find fossils of this, what they think is an extinct tree, right? But then a couple of them go looking in Sichuan and Hubei, these like southern Chinese provinces, and they actually find that this tree is still growing. And it's really beautiful because unlike a redwood, it actually sheds its leaves, so in the autumn it becomes like golden and brown. So it's like still this kind of redwood looking tree, and they grow in clumps in the water. So they're magical. So the first place it was seen again was being worshipped as like, the locals called it a water fir in this like little forest in China, and they grow from the water, and they were worshiping it like as a temple, right? And then this guy, Zhang Wang, actually like takes a specimen back. He gets in touch with botanists all around the world, Harvard funds a study to go get seeds and try to plant them around the northern hemisphere where they think they'll grow. And the first one to cone, like to reproduce, because they had been in the United States before, but the first one to kind of reproduce, to come back, is in Portland, Oregon, in the Arboretum where I work, and it was 8 million years between that. Right? So it's like this story
crazy.
of like, seed collectors and crazy Chinese scientists going and finding like temple trees and then like sending the tree specimens to Harvard, and they send them out to all these arboretums, and like that alone, the story is amazing. But then like on a personal level, it's like, yeah, if you're ever having like a super down week, you think of the Don Redwood, man.
I'm gonna start thinking about the Don Redwood.
If that dude could come back, you can come back too,
So how soon can we expect the Tree album?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I never thought of like tree music as a particularly commercial product. So we'll see. But I mean, right now the goal is for next summer. I've just been recording, like taking synthesizers out to the forest. Like I hook up like little nodes, like electric like readers to the plants, and they like send electrical signals, and they like kind of mess with the music I'm making. So it's then making field recording. So all of that's kind of being written into these soundscapes that you can listen to on the hike. And the goal is to like, you check out a cassette player with this track on and you walk the trail. It's like super analog. It's like,
yeah, I think we need that in all parks.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing too, because it's like the Arboretum, the person who runs the Arboretum, let's just call her the queen of the Arboretum. I don't know whatever her title is, but her name's Anna, and she's awesome. She saw me do a gig. It was like an outdoor gig. It was a sweet gig, and she was like, "You sing these songs about history and like, right? And you turn these histories into music. Could you do that with trees?" And I said, "I don't fucking know." But she like totally invited me to come hang out, and I've been sitting in the forest and just like writing music, and like songs come out because that shit's so inspiring. And for me, like a lot of what I do with Nono Boy, it's a teacher's trick. Like I said during the performance, it's just, as a historian, how can I get people to care about their neighbors, about their aunties, about the land that they're living on or have lived on? So you turn it into a catchy song, and maybe someone, because of the power of a melody, ask their own grandmother, "Hey, what was your story like?" Or something like that. I think it's like kind of the same deal. Like I'm really invested. Like if you can write a song about this kind of landmark, interesting tree like the Don Redwood, and you can put a little drama behind it, and you can talk about the trans-Pacific adventure that it went on, and this comeback story of the not just century, millennia, or whatever millions of years are, I don't even know. Like that can maybe get someone more interested in trees in general. And then it's like, oh shit, trees need clean air and we shouldn't cut them down, and water's important. And then maybe that helps all of us, So that's where we are.
Well, so you mentioned it, and I will say I've been listening to you for many years now.
How many years?
Well, the first time I ever heard your music, I was driving with Patrick.
Who's Patrick? Oh, hey.
So Patrick flew down from Cleveland to come help film this.
Go Cavs.
And Patrick's like, "I'm gonna put this song on the radio, and you're gonna cry when you."
Oh, it was one of those moves. I used to pull that move a lot.
I was like, "Okay, Patrick."
It's the Garden State move.
We got to the end of the song.
Soft boy Patrick over there pulling the Zach Braff. Actually, it's Natalie Portman, right, who does that. You guys are too young. Sorry. It's a shitty movie from my childhood.
Because I work. So my family are refugees from Laos. And
this shit just got depressing. Where is this going?
Well, because I work at a TV station, I've always made like fun little videos and stuff. People are like, "You have to record all of this."
Yeah.
And I have no idea how to even approach doing that.
Like ask your family their stories.
Yeah, because like I go hang out with my grandma. All she wants to do is watch tennis, and it's great. I love hanging out with my grandma watching tennis. Yeah. So what? Like I don't even know how to broach asking somebody something like, "Hey, what was this like?" Yeah. Escaping the country that you came from.
Yeah, in all seriousness, that's the toughest part of the job of being like an oral historian or an ethnographer, or dealing with histories that are just relentless onslaughts of trauma, at least on the surface. But you got to remember that's not who your grandma is. Like my mother is someone who happened to be born into a situation that wasn't great. Born right after or during French imperialism, right after Japanese empire totally messed up the country during World War II, then under American occupation, living through a war. But that's never how she would define herself. Like, I think it's a disservice to think of your own family or any person who comes from that kind of background as immigrant or refugee. Mm-hmm. Those are like useful flattening terms because they can be politicized or they can be taught in little, one class chunks or something. But if you want to know about Laos when your grandma was a kid, just don't ask her about Laos and the war. Ask her just about being a kid. Like that's the thing. It's like when I talk to my mom, sometimes, or her sister, my aunt, sometimes little nuggets will come up that intersect with the war, but that was not daily life. And the thing about people living through wars, like even soldiers, that's not every single memory they have. And to flatten them down to that, I think, is a bad place to start. So I just recommend starting with, like, for instance, when I talk to my mom, what'd you do after school? Or what did you study in school? Or what was your, in my mom's case, city like? She grew up in posh colonial Saigon. She remembers this place, Café Givral, which is where she got ice cream after going to like French colonial Catholic school. And I don't like try to beam in with like, oh, the oppressive French imperialists. What was that like to suffer under that, Mom? Because she just lived it. Like, that's not how a 15-year-old girl was thinking, right? Yeah. So I'm like, and that's why a lot of my songs are just about bands in these different situations, because presidents or generals, that shit never resonated with me when I was in high school studying history. That shit doesn't resonate for my students when I have occasion to teach. But the projects that I see, my own included, where people really light up as scholars or students, are the ones where they find a way into history or into their family through something they can relate to. So for me, that's music, because that's all I know. I'm like, I was born in Nashville. My dad was in the industry. I went to music college. I was in a band. For better or worse, I'm a musician first and foremost. My life was not taught in books. It was taught in vinyl records and CDs and stuff like that.
Well, so we're starting off right now with, I go over there and I go and cook with her.
Yes.
So I'm working, the long-term goal is I'm going to make a cookbook.
So are you doing like recipes she knew as a kid and stuff like that?
Like, so what are you doing? She's just like the most amazing cook ever.
Yeah.
She'll like I remember my dad always talked about like when they first came over, they found out what spaghetti was.
Yeah.
And she just made it like off the cuff.
Yeah, so
like,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working on now. Whenever I have the chance to go home, I'll like record recipes with her and stuff and watch tennis while it's cooking.
Yeah. Well, also too, I think the thing to stay away from is that assuming that some like politicized or academicized notion of Asian American or being Lao or Southeast Asian is what your family is, because it's like, no, we're all super individual, and I think we're too conflated. Like a Chinese American who comes over to get a PhD has absolutely nothing to do with a Lao refugee. Like there's no commonality whatsoever. Economically, the Chinese person's way better off, all this kind of stuff. But then we get lumped together as just Asian American, and then I have to put up with movies like Crazy Rich Asians as like my representation and shit. Yeah. And stuff like that. No offense to whoever made that movie. But like, yeah, I think it's just start from the smallest grain of your grandmother outwards. And just record while you cook. And maybe there's like, stuff will come up, I'm sure. Or also, if it doesn't, it's okay to let that lie, because she might have seen shit that shouldn't be talked about. It's not like a noble thing to necessarily tease out the worst trauma of someone's life. What is noble is to show interest and accept them for how they define themselves and create space in which maybe they share more of themselves. Yeah. Just be a good hang.
Well, so for Thanksgiving, my family's massive, so we're going to have like 100-something people for Thanksgiving. I think we're going to roll like 300 egg rolls for Thanksgiving.
Sounds like a Hallmark
insane
movie.
Yeah.
The 300 egg rolls.
Or maybe
a diversity Hallmark movie, yeah. Well, good luck with that, man. No, I mean, this is a conversation I have a lot when I do like workshops, at different universities or high schools, and a lot of kids, like myself, grew up very mixed or in between, and to me, it's just, you got to lean into that. Like, if spaghetti with an old Lao lady sounds dope. You know, that sounds like a story within itself. Yeah. And that is the definition of her life, right? Like, she makes her life the way it is. It's not to try to fit into, like, yeah, but I need that one story about the bomb that went off in your village. I'm not looking
for that story, per se.
No, but you want to know more, right? Because, a lot of us do feel like we just don't have those movies to watch, or we don't have the books to read or the songs to listen to. And there is a lacking. But I mean, I don't know. I think that's always my favorite thing. I've had a lot of people come up, like yourself, at the merch table, and just be like, yeah, I listened to this song and that got me to think about, like, you know, my family's Venezuelan, or my family's like coming over from Cambodia or whatever. Or just like in general, I'm a mixed up kid who grew up in the South or something, and this helped out. And that's great, because it's not about the music. It's about, like, empowering people to be little historians themselves. You're not little, but, you know, younger than me. And that's awesome. So, yeah, tell your grandma I say hello.
I will. Yeah. I'll show her this.
Oh, please do. I'm so sorry for cursing, Grandma.
All right. Do we need to... Oh, I do have one more question.
Yeah.
Will you autograph my...
head?
Yes, you can autograph my head, but will you autograph my record?
Yeah.
I bought?
Yeah, of course. That's dope, y'all. See, this is what I love. Like, to me, this is just like a school project. And then when I see people, like youthful-ish people, like actually digging this like a real record, like this. I was just writing about this for like for this article. I had like an academic article, and it's like you don't know how much like or just how little there is. Like, I don't know why more people in the academy, like, we learn all this shit, right? Do all of this work. Like, Best Goddamn Man in Wyoming could easily be a monograph, could easily be a history book, like, on its own. There's so much information packed into that song. There's, like, lives and experiences and all this research, just citation after citation. But it makes but you would have not felt it the same way if it wasn't a song. So this is very heartening. So, yeah, that's dope.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming out and being on the show.
All right, y'all. Go learn some history. Hang out with a tree. We're out.
Alrighty, and that was No Boy on WFT Amplified. Go watch the episode on WFT.org or PBS.org or on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Bye.